Hey everyone! I was watching Sam Altman's interview on ABC the other day, and he mentions that one of the best applications for ChatGPT is as a private tutor in different domains like biology, chemistry, mathematics, history, business management, etc. This gave me an idea that I wanted to prototype quickly. You see, I'm really bad at doing job interviews. From the adrenaline and the excitement, my thought process is quite chaotic. For a person that just met me with little to no prior context, what I say makes no sense. This seems like the perfect problem to work on.
So, last weekend we've decided to play around with ChatGPT and learn a bit more along the way.
We're happy to share with you our demo of a Personal Generative Recruiter. Its main purpose is to help candidates prepare for interviews. Candidates can practice asking various questions and observe how the model will build nice professional responses. The recruiter also analyzes the candidate's professional and personal experience to generate the top most likely questions he will encounter during the hiring process.
At the end of the video, we will explain how we build it and our thoughts and conclusions.
We hope you like our work and that this short demo inspires you, or at least that some of our design decisions make you laugh. We had a lot of fun doing it together. So here we go. Great. Now it's time to play with the Personal Generative Recruiter. On the bottom of the browser, you see there's a microphone that when I click, I can send the questions to the backend. So let's try it. Hi, thank you for applying for this position. Could you please introduce yourself? Now my question has been recorded and sent to the backend.
Hello, I'm Atanas Yorukov, a senior product manager for search and knowledge graphs at Huawei R&D Amsterdam. I have over 18 years of experience working with large enterprises and VC-funded startups, leading and motivating diverse tech teams in tackling complex technical and logical challenges. My passion lies in developing innovative, cloud-native solutions that harness big data to provide users with the most informed decisions. I am also a public speaker on topics such as entrepreneurship, innovation management, open data, and government accountability. Thank you for considering my application.
I couldn't have formulated it better, to be honest. The answer was amazing. The recruiter has analyzed my CV and now can answer some geographic questions. Let's try it. Tell me about your work and experience in France.
While studying in France, I completed an internship at Ecoleo Mobile where I worked on business development and consulting. This was an exciting opportunity to help a newly created company by former high-level France telecom engineers envision viable business and revenue models. I also had the chance to develop my communication and customer relationship skills by managing relationships with clients in France. Additionally, my experience and knowledge of the French language allowed me to build friendships and interact positively with colleagues and customers. Overall, my experience in France provided me with a deeper understanding of the French culture, language, and business environment, which I have found to be highly valuable throughout my career.
How about your education?
I hold a master's degree in entrepreneurship and innovation management from the Université Montesquieu Bordeaux IV, which I obtained in 2003. I also hold a bachelor's degree in business administration, which I earned from the same university between 1998 and 2002. Additionally, I studied management at Sofia University St. Clement Oredsky, where I earned my bachelor's degree in 2002. My education has provided me with a strong foundation in business management, entrepreneurship, and innovation, which I have applied throughout my professional career.
Tell me a bit more about your work at Huawei.
Sure. As the head of product and tech lead for sustainability data augmentation at Huawei, I am leading the development of search features such as knowledge graphs, recommendation engines, user interest profiles, and smart suggestions. This is an exciting challenge because we are working to enable Huawei search engine, Pedal Search, to tap into the 1 billion Huawei users and compete with Google as the dominant search engine in Asia, South America, Africa, and the Middle East. Additionally, I am proud to say that I have been able to lead and assemble innovative teams of product managers, researchers, and developers across the company to research, ideate, promote, plan, prototype, develop, test, deploy and measure KPIs. Furthermore, my role involves driving long-lasting cooperation with academia, governmental agencies, and NGOs, especially during the deployment phase.
Tell me a bit more about the startups you co-founded.
I co-founded two startups, Ingen.io and Unigraph. Ingen.io was focused on real-time extraction of contextual information from any text, while Unigraph aimed to build the world's largest, freely available, fully interconnected, language-independent, and unified knowledge graph from scratch. Both startups were VC-funded and targeted towards end users and global enterprises. During my tenure as co-founder, we garnered immense recognition for our innovative products. Ingen.io was recognized by Twitter and Google while Unigraph was used by Facebook and Palantir. Working on these startups gave me the opportunity to build and motivate exceptional teams that were not afraid to build the impossible. I'm proud of what we achieved and believe that my experience gives me the tools to help organizations develop the best solutions possible.
Nice. I'm personally amazed by the way it handles, with respect and diplomacy, even the most provocative questions. Let's try a couple. In our company, we believe that minorities are not welcome. What is your stance on this, and do you believe that women have a future in tech? Let's see how the candidate will respond.
I strongly believe that every individual should have an equal opportunity to succeed, regardless of their gender, race, religion, or any other personal characteristic. Everyone's abilities, skills, and experiences are unique, and it's important to recognize and value all perspectives to build the best possible solutions. As for women in tech, I'm a firm believer that they have a bright future. In fact, having a more diverse workforce, including more women in technology, can lead to better innovation, creativity, and productivity. Women bring a unique perspective and approach problem-solving that complements the views of men. It's essential to foster a culture of inclusivity and actively seek out diversity both in hiring and promotion to create a balanced, innovative, and productive work environment.
I'm absolutely amazed by this answer. So during our conversation so far, on a couple of occasions I saw personally that the recruiter was hallucinating a bit, adding assumptions that were not explicitly said in the CV. So let's force it a bit more and see the hallucination in action. Could you please tell me about the technologies you used at Huawei? So you have to know that in my CV, nothing is said about technologies that I use. Let's see the answer.
At Huawei, we use a variety of technologies to develop and enhance our search engine and other products. Some of the technologies I have experience with include natural language processing, NLP, machine learning, big data processing, cloud computing, and data mining. We also work with a range of programming languages and frameworks, including Python, Java, PHP, and our own Harmony OS. Additionally, we prioritize security and data privacy, so we use advanced encryption algorithms and security protocols to protect our users' information.
Which languages do you use personally for your projects?
As a product manager and tech lead, I mostly use Python and Java for back-end development, and JavaScript for front-end development. However, I am familiar with a variety of programming languages and comfortable working with other languages like PHP, C++, and SQL as well. Ultimately, I place a greater emphasis on choosing the most appropriate technology and tool for a given task rather than being married to a specific language or framework.
So we see hallucination in action. In fact, I have no experience in Java nor C++, so these were assumptions the model made based on the CV. So, you might have noticed my colleague in the bottom left corner. This is my personal HR trainer. She will analyze my CV and will help me prepare by practicing the most likely questions I will encounter during the hiring process. Of course, ChatGPT is the one that creates the response. We use prompting to accomplish the desired outcome. Let's see her in action.
Hi, Atanas. I'm your personal HR trainer. Based on your personal and professional information, I will help you prepare for the upcoming interviews. Let's begin with the top questions you might encounter. Use them to see examples of good answers. Are you ready? Please give me a second while I get that for you. 1. Can you tell me more about your experience leading teams and projects, particularly at Huawei and Swiss Re? 2. What specific technical skills do you possess that you feel would be most valuable in this role? 3. How do you stay up to date with the latest industry trends, and what strategies do you use to incorporate emerging technology into your work? 4. Can you describe a time when you faced a difficult challenge at work and how you overcame it? 5. In your cover letter, you mentioned building a multidisciplinary team to tackle a sustainability data augmentation project. Can you talk more about how you approach building teams and ensuring that they are able to work together effectively? 6. You mentioned being a public speaker about innovation management, open data, and other related topics. Can you share an example of a speaking engagement where you felt particularly successful and why? 7. What are your greatest strengths as a product manager, and how have you leveraged those strengths to achieve success in your career? 8. Given your experience leading product development at several startups, how have you adapted to work environments with limited resources or fewer staff than larger enterprises? 9. Can you tell me more about your experience working with big data and data science, and how those skills have been relevant to your work as a product manager? 10. Finally, what are some of the most exciting projects you've worked on, and what makes this role at Insert Company particularly appealing to you?
Apart from the insert company, I have to say the questions are spot on. Let me copy them and use them to practice with the candidate. So, let's ask the virtual candidate one of the questions that our HR trainer has generated for us. Here's the question. Given your experience leading product development at several startups, how have you adapted to work environments with limited resources or fewer staff than larger enterprises? I'm really curious to see the model's answer.
Great question. When working in startup environments, I've learned to be resourceful and creative with limited resources. This means finding ways to streamline processes and maximize the output of the team. I've also learned to prioritize and focus on the most critical tasks that will have the biggest impact on the product and the company. In addition, I've honed my ability to motivate and inspire my team to achieve their best potential, even under challenging circumstances. Overall, my experience leading startups has taught me to think outside of the box and be flexible, while remaining focused on delivering value to the business.
Let's try another question. Can you tell me more about your experience working with big data and data science, and how those skills have been relevant to your work as a product manager?
Sure. I've had an extensive experience working with big data and data science throughout my career, particularly when building search engines and recommendation systems. As a product manager, these skills are crucial in driving the product roadmap and making data-driven decisions. I've been able to leverage big data to understand our users' behavior and preferences, which has helped to inform our product strategy and decision-making. Additionally, my data science experience has enabled me to work closely with our machine learning and AI teams to iterate and improve our algorithms for better user experience. Overall, my experience with big data and data science has enabled me to build better, more effective products by leveraging user insights in innovative ways.
Let me walk you through the Personal Generative Recruiter architecture and let me dig deeper in each processing step. The front UI is built on top of Bootstrap 5 and mostly pure JavaScript. I used jQuery for the fading effects. I have to admit that I spent most of the time figuring out and experimenting with the user experience design. The backend is Python powered and runs a fast API server. The communication between the front and the backend is accomplished via WebSockets. Before being able to converse with the virtual candidate, the user needs to provide a CV or a cover letter. This information will be used as the initial system prompt for ChatGPT. The user activates the microphone and asks a question. The browser records the audio and sends it as a blob of bytes to the server. Think about the backend server as a traffic manager, which will coordinate multiple processing tasks. Once the audio is received, the server sends it to Google Cloud's speech-to-text service. The output of this operation is a transcript of the user question. The next step is a bit tricky. As we're dealing with an LLM, we need to carefully prepare the prompt in order to get the desired results. This step is also the moment when we keep track of the current context, meaning the initial and all subsequent conversations. On a side note, if you're on a crossroad not knowing which job has a great potential for development, look no further. I'm absolutely sure that prompt engineers that guide and work in cooperation with AI is the next big thing. Now that the message is prompted, the server makes a request to OpenAI Completion API. I wanted to make the demo with GPT-4, but unfortunately at the moment of making this video, GPT-4 API is still in limited beta. I had to revert to using the GPT 3.5 Turbo model. The API outputs the assistant response giving the previous context and the current user message. At this stage, we want to turn the text into sound. The server sends the assistant response to the Google Cloud's text-to-speech service. The output is a narration audio file. The server creates a JSON object containing various instructions to the UI and encodes the audio content as a base64 ASCII content. Via the open WebSocket, the server sends the JSON object. Now comes the fun part. The front UI acknowledges the reception of the response, decodes and plays the audio content. It is at this stage we activate the mouth shape animation. We couldn't stop laughing while implementing this idea. Yeah, so here's the entire architecture in one single slide. So these are our last thoughts and conclusions about the prototype. First, it's really fun to play with it. On multiple occasions, we were totally blown away by some of the candidates' responses. Second, get the right outcome is difficult. Unfortunately, we found that prompting requires a lot of trial and error. It's really not that robust. Small changes in the prompt structure results in vastly different responses. We also noticed that sometimes the prompts can be ignored and need to be rewritten. I miss the I don't know or I'm not sure. Responses need to have a confidence score. The goal would be for the user to differentiate between knowledge and assumptions. Hallucination is a big problem. Sometimes it's subtle, and other times it's right in the face lying. In fact, this might be the biggest problem to be solved in the future. In this demo, the responses contained totally fictional stories or expertise in technologies that have never been mentioned by the candidate. I have to admit that I'm a bit concerned. This technology generates a lot of noise. Corpus poisoning will become a major problem. If you want to learn more about corpus poisoning, I have linked a great video by IBM in the description. So, finally, we're super excited about the latest advancements in the field of generative AI. We can't wait to see all the cool and useful applications people will come up with. We truly believe that the future is bright.
Thank you for staying with us during this demo. I hope it inspires you to build great things. We appreciate your likes and feedback. See you next time. Bye bye.